Thank you for being here. Since 2002, Woodman Life chapters across the country have been dedicating flagpoles and presenting flags, not only to honor the heroes and victims of September 11, 2001, but also the men and women of our armed forces serving in combat. In addition, these ceremonies pay tribute to the men and women in this community who risk their lives daily to keep us safe. Our police officers, you got a very hard job. We thank you. Our firefighters, emergency rescue personnel, and other first responders. We had a appreciation dinner some time ago at the Hasty VFD. About the time the food got ready and they started getting some on their plate, they got called out. 24/7. They're taking care of us. They deserve all of our thanks and admiration for what they do for us. More than 5,000 flagpoles have been dedicated to these individuals in special ceremonies held by Woodman Life chapters. Hundreds more will be dedicated this year. We can think of no more special way to honor these brave men and women than by the side of the American flag flying proudly. Patriotism is the very core of Woodman Life. It's the fabric that makes us who we are. For more than 125 years, Woodman Life has strived to promote family, community, and country. Since 1947, our chapters have presented more than 2.5 million American flags to community-based organizations across the nation. Nearly 285,000 American History Awards have been presented to students in elementary, junior, and senior high schools. And more than 1.9 million American Patriot handbooks have been presented. I present flags. I present those American History handbooks, American History Awards. It's important to me. Most of the time I've got U.S. flags in my truck. I try to keep them on hand all the time. These were put up recently. I noticed the one up at the senior center is getting a little weak. Probably need to see if I got one that size with me. In 2001, we experienced horrors that we never thought could occur in this land of freedom and opportunity. Thousands of our citizens and those of other countries lost their lives in the terrorist attacks in New York, Washington, D.C., and Pennsylvania. Hundreds of heroes materialized during and after those attacks, and it is to them and to those fighting to strengthen our freedom that we dedicate this ceremony. Abraham Lincoln once said, "Any nation that does not honor its heroes will not long endure." I remember where I was that day. My dad had passed away a few months before, so I was staying some nights with Mom. I got up that morning to go home to prepare to work that day. I got a call that one of the tires had been hit, and I went home and turned on the TV and watched it. It made me mad. I've not been in the service. I've always been proud of the flag and patriotic. Had they called me, I'd have been ready. If I'd been less than 40, I'd have been ready that day. I would have went and joined up. On the anniversary of the attacks, we each remember where we were and what we were doing the morning of September 11, 2001. We'll probably always remember. The events of that day changed our lives forever, making us realize that freedom is a very precious thing and not to be taken lightly. We're now engaged in a war to help other individuals and other nations experience freedom. It's a battle that will not be won easily. It's fitting that we dedicate this flag today. And the words of former President Ronald Reagan come to mind, words that were spoken on another occasion. They seem just as appropriate today. He said, "We will always remember, we will always be proud, we will always be prepared, so we may always be free." I'd like to thank you for joining us.